I'm going to speak a little bit about the precepts, particularly sexual misconduct, because I read something that is so bizarre from an abbot of a Japanese monastery. He says that every man should have one orgasm a day, and he's a monk. So maybe he was married, I don't know. But regardless, this kind of talk is one of the reasons that Buddhism is losing its support worldwide. So let's look at the reasons that he could possibly say such a thing and try and be objective about it. So first of all, if he was a clever guy, clever monk, he might say, well, I eat once a day, or eat twice a day, or I eat 3 times a day. Anyway, I fulfill my desire to eat. I fulfill my desire for rest, sleep, and I fulfill my desire for drinking water, hydrating myself. So he might argue that since sex is also a desire, well, why not? It's a necessity, right? So if he argues in this way, this is just fanciful thinking, but he might, in order to justify his practice. So logically, if you look at it, people eat not to be entertained, but to sustain their physical body. And those who eat food for entertainment is basically called greed and craving. It doesn't lead to good health, as we all know. If we eat our food, it's, according to the Buddha, supposed to be taken as medicine. So it is not an entertaining practice, eating. Not supposed to be. And those who are entertained by food, they suffer obesity, ill health, diabetes, all sorts of physical problems in a short life, and heart problems. So, as a Buddhist, we eat to live. And even the hippies had that as their slogan. And many people that are not practicing any religion, that have any common sense whatsoever, eat to live. Keep this, not for entertainment. There's just too much out there in the way of hankerings to derive pleasure from food and hope to remain healthy. So, if one argues that, one should take the pleasure in having one orgasm a day on the basis of food, that certainly can be thrown out the window very easily. In addition, why one orgasm? One eats 3 times a day, maybe snacks 4 or 5 times a day, and has a bunch of water several times a day. Guzzles down a Coke now and then every 2-3 hours. Why not have sex 20 times a day? Why limit it to 1 if, one's argument is that one should, fulfill one's desire for sex, have the pleasure of sex once a day because, we eat that. We eat food every day and drink water every day. Well, why limit it to once? So, from that angle, it doesn't work. So he might argue, well, maybe he doesn't have that view. That's just my thinking. I'm trying to figure out how he's trying to justify it. This guy that says every Buddhist, every man, whether he's an ordained monk or not, should have sex, pleasure of sex once a day. So the if he reasons on the eating and drinking or so forth, that's not working. So he might say that, well, in Tantra, in tantric practice, sex is prescribed for health and for longevity and for developing yogic insight. But even in tantric practice, it's considered a breach of samaya, commitment to the Dharma, if one has an orgasm and takes pleasure in sex and physical interaction. In fact, most tantric practitioners are celibate. Probably 90% are celibate. And those that aren't are very, very accomplished masters, and they never release their energy when having a consort. So this abbot of this Japanese monastery, he cannot find support in tantric practice. His is very contrary to tantric practice.